Hello, nice to see you all. So, as promised, I am going to talk about business model canvas in this supplementary tutorial. So, some of you have already heard about business model canvas, and that's why this tutorial is not compulsory. Okay, so some of you have heard about it, some of you have already learned what is it, and in this case you don't need to attend this tutorial. That's why I'm recording this tutorial for those who, well, in their university life, this could be their first time to learn what is meant by business model canvas. Now this is my second recording, so some of you may already know that I have a first recording to talk about business model canvas, but I am not happy about it. That's why I have revised my teaching material and I am recording it for the second time so that you could it could be beneficial to you not only for this course, but hopefully in the future, if you would like to initiate a startup, would like to work in a company who require you to do some kind of business analysis, or in case other courses require you to do some business analysis using business model canvas, I think it could be helpful. Now this is my computer screen, and this file is already uploaded to Canvas so that you could download it and follow what I'm going to talk about. Now, business model canvas is not something new. So it has been invented for quite some time, and even Wikipedia have corresponding information related to business model canvas. So I have some kind of screenshot post here, but in case you are interested to know more about business model canvas, you can follow the link to go to Wikipedia and then look at what is meant by business model canvas. Now, on the right hand side here, you have a bigger picture about what is business model canvas. Essentially, this is 9 elements for you to understand what is a business. Now, different people talk about business model canvas using the same 9 elements, but the steps, so which comes first, which follows, or the procedure, the steps will be a little bit different. So this is my way of understanding what is a business model canvas, and I am happy to share with all of you. Now, in case you find that my teaching is a little bit boring, no worry, there is an introduction video online so that you could follow this video and watch what is provided here.
An organization's business model can be described with 9 basic building blocks: your customer segments, your value proposition for each segment, the channels to reach customers, customer relationships you establish, the revenue streams you generate, the key resources and key activities you require to create value, the key partners, and the cost structure of the business model. But it's not sufficient to just enumerate the 9 building blocks. What you really want to do is to map them out on a pre-structured canvas. This is what we call the business model canvas, a tool that helps you map, discuss, design, and invent new business models. Let's briefly go through the 9 building blocks, starting with the customer segments. These are all the people or organizations for which you're creating value. This includes simple users and paying customers. For each segment, you have a specific value proposition. These are the bundles of products and services that create value for your customers. The channels describe through which touchpoints you're interacting with customers and delivering value. The customer relationships outline the type of relationship you're establishing with your customers. The revenue streams make clear how and through which pricing mechanisms your business model is capturing value. Then you need to describe the infrastructure to create, deliver, and capture value. The key resources show which assets are indispensable in your business model. The key activities show which things you really need to be able to perform well. The key partners show who can help you leverage your business model, since you won't own all key resources yourself, nor will you perform all key activities. Then once you understand your business model's infrastructure, you'll also have an idea of its cost structure. So with the business model canvas, you can map out your entire business model in one image. This works for startup entrepreneurs just as well as for the most senior executives.
Okay, so you have some idea about business model canvas. Now, as I have told you, everybody talk about this business model canvas. The elements are the same. The steps are a little bit different. Now, this is my way of understanding it, and I would like to talk about it first from the customer perspective. And as usual, I'm going to provide some examples for you to better understand, well, for each element, how to understand it and what kind of things you need to put in that specific element. Now, the first thing I would like to talk about is from the customer perspective. So we start here from the customer segment. Now, this is the very first question usually I will ask myself. If I'm looking at a business, well, which group of people are your targeted customer? Now, remember in tutorial 8 business strategies, we talk about a number of business strategies. For example, you could target in a mass market, okay? Or you can position yourself as selling some kind of very specialized product, let's say in a niche market. Now, this is what we call some kind of differentiation or diversification. Now, some companies, especially in the automobile, in the car industry, they usually do something like this. Here, I put in here is a very typical example is a Japanese manufacturer called Toyota. I think most of you know what company Toyota is and what kind of cars that they are making. So they are making some kind of family cars that are, well, widely approachable and being recognized as one of the most durable and easy to maintain car in the market. Now, some company, they do it like this. So they have a main line which is targeted to a major market, and actually Toyota have a subsidiary called how to pronounce it, Daihatsu, something like that. It is a subsidiary of Toyota which specialize in smaller cars that are very economical in Japan, that is easily approachable and a lot of people could afford it. Now, these are the cars that are usually being considered a more economical choice, cheap choice, and not as common as their main line. And also Toyota has a more luxurious line called the Lexus. Now, they are a Japanese car manufacturer, produce cars for the mass market. And they have a brand called Lexus, which is essentially a subsidiary of Toyota, but this brand focuses in the niche market. This brand is intended to compete with famous European or even German car manufacturers. They target at Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Audi, that grade of more luxurious car, which usually their customer will ask for even higher quality or superior quality compared to the general mass market. So some company will do a brand position like this. Now, for this customer segment, you need to think about who exactly is your targeted customer. Now, you could target at different groups, but you could target it with different brands or different products. So these are some kind of diversification that you can think about. Now, I think recently you have also heard about that Apple is making a second generation iPhone SE, which is intended to compete in a in the budget phone market. Now, Apple also do this type of diversification. So even if they say that these three are all iPhones, actually the internals, the configuration, and the price is a little bit different, which target at different sorts of customer. Now, say for example, iPhone SE here, it priced at around 3,400 Hong Kong dollar as a starting price. It's intended to compete with those how to say these mid-range Android cell phones, which people would like to switch from Android and enjoy better operating system produced by Apple. And they also have some kind of line that compete with a higher price model, and of course you have the most supreme line that compete with those type of first tier Android, or even they position themselves as more superior than current first tier Android offerings. Now, these are some kind of diversification. Now, if you put yourself think about the position for different products, different brands, different lines in the Bauhaus product line or the Bauhaus family of brands, what are you proposing? Now, in your data analysis, you have some kind of cluster analysis and identify the different groups of customer. Which group, to be specific, will be your targeted customer, or you are intended to target a multiple groups with different brands of different product lines. Now, this is the first thing. Usually, when I look at a company, I will look at this customer segment here. Now, the next thing that you need to ask is, what is the value proposition? Now, to be more exact, what are the benefits to your customer? Now, usually people will say that this value proposition is how can you distinguish yourself from the competition, from your competitors. Some company, or in certain type of brands, there may be the Daihatsu or maybe iPhone SE, they are going in this direction. So they are targeted in a competitive price. So they go for this quantitative value. Now, these two are not mutually exclusive. Now, if you are capable, you could do both at the same time. A company could do both at the same time. But, let me give you some general ideas. So quantitative means, maybe you are positioning, maybe you need to price your product or your services in a competitive price, so that you could compete with similar products, similar offering from your competitors. And also, some of them talk about this type of what they call the CP value, cost to benefit ratio. Now, this is some kind of practice, I think, some kind of Android cell phone made in mainland China, some mainland China brand, they are doing in this direction. So, for 3,400 Hong Kong dollar, you can only buy a budget iPhone. But some brands with this price, you can already have a some kind of first tier offering from their brands. Now, some companies didn't go that way. Okay, budget price, for the same price you get better product. Now, some companies, they go the qualitative way. What does it mean? It means that they go for some kind of fame and experience. Say, for example, some people, they like to use iPhone because it is iPhone, because they just think that they are more stylish by using iPhone. When they hold an iPhone in hand, it shows to everybody else that I am superior than those user of Android. Now, there are those type of customer. And also, for example, this type of very luxury brand, let's say they will try to create a brand. Let's say when we talk about famous luxury brands like LV, like Rolex, this type of company will not give you discount in the price competition. They go for fame, they go for experience to make you think that when you are wearing those type of luxurious choice, it is a symbol of your personal status. You could do it that way. So these are some kind of value propositions that your company could think of. Now, can you think about what are the possible values, let's say using the apps, using your e-business solution, in terms of from the customer's perspective, what kind of value do they bring to them? Are they getting a cheaper pair of jeans or leather jacket at a more bargain price, at a more reasonable price? Or by wearing that pair of jeans or wearing that leather jacket, you feel superior, you feel a little bit special. And also when you go to the shop and you buy that type of leather jacket, you are being treated as a VIP. Now these are some of the things that you could put in this value proposition. Now the third thing, usually I will look at the channels, which is where to reach your customer. Say for example, nowadays you have some kind of online means. You could reach them with apps, you could reach them with social networks. Now for offline store, you can have your own store and you could go to the partner channel. Now say for example, now I think some of you are pre-ordering this iPhone SE. There are several options. You could order it online using the Apple apps on your iPhone. You could actually go to their partners. Let's say you go to Fortress, you go to these type of electronic devices shop, or you go to your cell phone service provider. Just like me, I'm using SmartTone. You could go to SmartTone and order one. And also, you can also go to the Apple shop in Festival Walk to get one. Now these are a number of options for your product to reach your customer. Now, some of you mentioned in your interim report telling me that their online shop is not well made, or some of their tier B, tier C shops are a little bit remote, so that the contribution to the revenue is not that high. Now, this is exactly the channel issue. When you are proposing a new e-commerce solution or an innovative e-solution to me, tell me about the channel. Okay, online, where is it? Say for example, you want to do a better job on social networks, you want to design an app, or some people will say that, okay, I will go to open more shops, I will go to approach some of the retailing partners in Hong Kong, let's say go to HKTV Mall, so that they this is some kind of additional channel that I can sell my fashionable clothing to my customer during this virus outbreak period. Okay, so these are some kind of very possible solution that you could think of in terms of channel, where to reach your customer. And also, what will be, okay, the third, now, here we ask some questions related to customer relationships. Now, in terms of customer relationships, there are three things. First, how to reach new customers. So you have mentioned about channels. Tell me, if I want to approach my potential customer in a specific cluster, specific group with a certain type of characteristics, how are you going to reach them? And you could think about, for existing customer, how can you make sure that they are returning and buy the same thing? Okay, so this is the second question. Now, a lot of groups, they point out in their interim report telling me that the amount of return customer for some kind of cluster, so they are not significant. So they just buy 1 or 2 season, they just come to my shop in 1 or 2 season and then they disappear. Now, this is the point number 2 of this customer relationship. How to reach your customer. So if they like jeans, if they like super dry products, how can you make sure that they come to your shop and buy an additional super dry product in this season or in the next season? Now, and then you ask the third question: how to grow with your existing customer. Say, for example, if they are fans of Bauhaus, they buy leather jacket, is there any way for you to promote your any other additional products to this source of customer? Now, let me give you an example. So I have some kind of perfume promotion put on this side, and as some of you may know that I myself collect perfume. So I'm a boy, and I don't know why, but I have this sort of interest. Now, this is a perfume made by YSL. They have a shop in Festival Walk, and this perfume is called, well, in English it's called Montpellier. Okay, in French, I think it's called the Montpellier, something like that. Now, this is the original, how to say, original formula, the original smell, the original perfume. Now, recently they have produced another one, which I think looks a little bit more beautiful. That's why I go to buy another one, which smell, I think, even better than this one. Okay, now this is where they approach me as a new customer. So maybe a nicely designed product, maybe some kind of good advertisement, or maybe they have some kind of sales channel everywhere in Hong Kong, so that when I go to some kind of the distribution channel, I found out, okay, this bottle is good looking, or maybe I have received some kind of sample that I think, okay, it smells good. Now, recently they start to sell this one in April. So this is a quite new product by YSL. Now, they have a better product, they have a newer product, and then I go to their shop and then I buy another one. Now, this is what we called how to keep existing customer. Now, after I have brought this, how can you attract me to buy this one? Now, and then we come to the third point: how to grow with existing customer. Now, if you have a chance to go to Festival Walk, there is a floor. The whole floor is some kind of beauty and cosmetic brands. If you look into these shops, you will find something very interesting. You will find that every beauty product shops are selling something very similar. Now, they could be a brand that start with perfume and then extend and then continue to expand their line to some kind of skincare product, and then some kind of makeup, cosmetic, those type of things. There are some company that they start as a cosmetic company and then they expand their line to skincare product and then perfume. Now, that's why you go to this shop and you find that usually this shop sells a number of things. They sell makeup products, lipsticks, eyeshadow, those type of things. They sell skincare products, and also they sell perfume. It's like a package. Every shop sells these type of things. So on that floor, and this is the reason why when I brought this one, they give me a gift like this. Now, I'm a man, so I have no use about it, but I teach business and I try to learn how they do business. Now, they have give me a package like this, And when you open it, it is some kind of free samples. So I think this is some kind of skincare product, this is some kind of makeup things, and this is a lipstick. So they sell me this one, and they are giving me a pack of samples like this. What is their intention? Their intention is this one. How to persuade this type of existing customer to continue buy something extra by expanding their product line. Now, go back to the Bauhaus example. You go there, you buy a leather jacket. Maybe in the next year, you come back and buy another leather jacket because it looks good. Now, can your e-business solution continue to persuade this customer? Also try Superdry, also try salad, something like this. So these are what we call now the customer relationship. Okay, these are some kind of customer relationship that you can think about. Now here I also have an example which is also related to perfume. Now, this is, I think, one of the very first perfume that I have. So this is made in Gulan, and other famous French brand which make perfume. Now, when I buy this bottle of perfume, I pay, of course, but they tell me that, okay, oh Joseph, do you like to be our member? So I asked them, so what is the benefit of being a member? Now they told me that we will provide a free of charge perfume experience for you. So make an appointment, and then you could go to our office. We will have tutors there to teach you how to appreciate perfume. Oh, very interesting. Now, so this is what I have. So I have taken some, so this is the first time I go to attend some kind of perfume course. So one bottle, this course is free of charge. Now I am the only male attending this perfume class, no surprise. So I think there is 10 to 12 ladies over there, and I am the only man. Okay, and you go there, you attend their perfume class, and they have a selection of product. They tell you some history about what is perfume, how to appreciate perfume, give you some kind of sample for you to try, experience different sensation, experience different smell, and also the combination of different things, and also a cup of free coffee. Okay, so and also when you leave, just like YSL, when I buy something, after this class they also give me some additional things, so perfume sample, skincare, makeup things, all those type of things. So these are some of the customer relationship things that you could think about. Now, after buying a leather jacket from Bauhaus, is there any, well, one of the creative ideas is you could attend a workshop in our headquarters, 2 hours. We will teach you what is different grades of leather, cuttings of great leather, a simple introduction to what is meant by fashion and design, something like that. Okay, this will be something very fun, and also introduce your existing customer to some sort of new product line, or maybe attract them to return in the future. Okay, now the next thing that we move on is talk about the value adding infrastructure. So at the beginning of this course, I asked you a very a very fundamental question: what is a business? Now, and my answer to you is that business is a value adding process. Value is a value adding process. Now here we talk about the value adding infrastructure. Is that from raw material to some sort of production, to some sort of services supporting activity, all those type of things, and then eventually become the final product. What are you selling? And based on what are you selling, you think about the manufacturing process and where you get the raw material. Okay, so this is a general idea of what we mean by the value vectoring infrastructure, and these are some key activities, key resources, and key partners that you need to think about. Okay, so we first talk about key activities. Now, key activities is about how to achieve your value propositions. How to achieve your value propositions. Now, in this value proposition, we talk about quantitative and qualitative. For quantitative value proposition, maybe the first thing you need to consider is how to streamline your whole production process. Say, for example, usually a production process consists of 3 types of cost. Manufacturing process. It is cost for material, it is cost for labor, and some kind of overhead. Now, overhead means maintenance cost. Overhead means maintenance cost. The supportives. Now, you have a production line, keep on producing some kind of product. Sometimes you need to maintain this type of production line to make the machine, make sure that the machine moves smoothly and ensure that the yield, okay, when we come to the production process, we talk about the yield. How many percentage of product that can go through your QC and go to the market? How many percent that cannot fulfill the basic requirement and you need to trash it? This is what we call the yield. Now, for quantitative value proposition, you need to think about how to keep your cost low in order to keep your price low. Okay. Now, qualitative is a little bit more interesting. Now, say for example, why do you think that Rolex is different from Casio? Why will you think that Mercedes is more superior than Toyota? There are some kind of psychology within, and these sorts of psychology could be generated through some kind of process like brand building. You have advertisement everywhere. You have a strong team to support your social marketing. Okay, you hired some kind of speak person, famous celebrity wearing your famous watch, and you put it on big poster in shopping malls. And also, it is related to shopping experience. Just like here. Even if Fortress and SmartTone, they have iPhones available, why are some of the customer they will go to Apple shop to buy the same thing? Same price, same product, but different experience. Because these may not have enough support, may not have enough expert in their shops that can help you to transfer old data to your new phone. But in case you go to Apple shop, they could do everything for you, help you to migrate your data to your new phone. So these are some sort of experience. Now, speaking of which, shopping experience, I would say theme park is the expert. Theme park is the expert in this area. Now, let me show you an example here. I think a lot of you know that what is the theme Star Wars. So you have Jedi Master waving their lightsaber, dueling with this lightsaber, go through adventures in the galaxy, and you are fascinated with this Star Wars theme. Now, it is now one of the very successful franchise that acquired by Disney, and they build some kind of theme facility in Disneyland so that you could experience this Star Wars galaxy in that theme park. Now, this is an activity that, in case you would like to be a future Jedi, there is an experience for you to build your own lightsaber. Now, these lightsabers are available for sale in some of the shops in the Disneyland. Essentially the same thing. You could buy a lightsaber in a shop, or you could attend this experience. Now, have a look of this experience. Okay, it will load up, and it will tell you that where is it? Hand-built lightsaber at the Walt Disney World Resort. Okay, where is it? It is at the Star Wars Galaxy Edge. Now, what you are going to do is assemble your lightsaber. Now, what is included? Okay, what is included? Now, $200 per lightsaber plus tax. Carrying case included. And here, they are not only selling you a lightsaber. They are not only selling you a toy. They are selling you an experience. Some people visited Disneyland and filmed the experience. So let me show you what is their experience. So after you have paid, you will go through these doors. So nicely decorated room with the Star Wars theme. And then there will be some people to tell you the background story of your experience.
About a couple weeks ago, so we can't be too careful. We had to make sure that you were the ones we were looking for. But now that we're all in here and we're safe, welcome to the workshop. Take a look around. I know, it doesn't look like much. I know. It doesn't look like much, but this...
Okay, and then it will introduce the saber.
It is elegant, powerful, and mysterious. The lightsaber is a direct connection between the builder and the Force.
Okay, essentially it's just a toy, which you can go to any Disneyland shop and get one. But when you attend this experience, it gives you a feeling. Okay, let's move on. So they have some kind of light effect to introduce what is the meaning of each color.
Darth Vader, Darth Maul, Asajj Ventress, and now Kylo Ren.
Okay, with reference to some of their theme. Now, and then they will ask you to choose a stone which gives color to the lightsaber. Okay, so you can pick one. Okay, now and then you are going to assemble your lightsaber.
Next, we have your grips in rows 2. After that, we have your emitters. And after that, we have your pommels to go down at the bottom.
Okay, so they give you the parts and you are going to build it by yourself.
Okay, so I need the input. Right? Okay.
Okay, now once you have finished the building, there is some kind of just like some kind of ritual. Okay, so let's watch the finishing touch.
The Force must be strong in this room. And now, builders, it is time to build the bond between builder and saber. And now, just as we started this journey together, we'll also finish it together. So in a moment, I'm going to ask you all to please take a step forward. Place your hands on your hilts and activate your lightsabers. But we will all do this together. Are you ready, builders?
Ready.
Take that step forward. Place your hands on your hilts and activate. Raise your lightsabers. You have built a lightsaber. Who came before you. And like them, you too can change the galaxy. Remember, it only takes a spark. Congratulations, builders. That's quick.
Okay, so you are now bonded to your lightsaber. Now, essentially, it's just a toy, but they are selling you an experience. Now, let us go back to this tutorial. No, not this one, not this experience, but here. So, when you are talking about qualitative value proposition, shopping experience, can you implement this sort of shopping experience online in your e-business solution? Or could it be some kind of O2O, so offline to online or online to offline, some kind of combinations like this to give a better shopping experience, just like a theme park? Okay, now I would say that fitting room in a fashion shop is the same thing. You experience, you fit yourself into, well, whether it suits your style or not. Okay, now let us move on to talk about key resources. Now, these are some kind of resources that could sustain and support your business and business process. Now, if you have already finished your accounting course, I think that you know what is a fixed asset. It could be some kind of shops, it could be an headquarters, it could be a factory, and it could be machine in a production line. And also, when we talk about resources to sustain your business nowadays, knowledge work. So expert knowledge are not free of charge. Expert knowledge are not free. Expert knowledge are expensive. So when you are proposing some sort of e-business solution, in case you are talking about some kind of virtual dressing in a virtual fitting, virtual dressing in some kind of apps proposed to Bauhaus, do you have the designer? Do you have the IT expert? Do you have the engineer to develop the app for you? Do you have the sales expert to give you some kind of advice, and also some kind of legal expert to give you some kind of disclaimer, something like that? Okay, so these are some sort of expert knowledge that you need to consider when you think about the key resources to make this business process happening. Okay, to sustain your business process. Okay. Now, finally, about the key partners, who will be the one who work with you? Now, one of the possible allies that you could have is the one who actually own the intellectual property. Now, there are a lot of intellectual property in this world, and in order to use intellectual property that is not owned by you or your company, you need to pay some sort of licensing fee, or else some kind of lawyer will come to approach you. Okay, now, so you need to make sure that you have a good relationship to those who actually own the intellectual property. It could be trademark, it could be patents, it could be copyrights. Now, patents means that the know-how of doing something. Some of the business process or some products, some technical ways of solving problems, they are patent protected. When you look at some sort of products, usually patent pending or some kind of patent code written somewhere, they have some kind of patent protection, and in order to use those type of things, you need to pay a licensing fee, and you need to make sure that you have a good relationship with the actual owner. And of course, you need to have some legal advisors to clear out those troublesome legal things for you. Also, who are your key suppliers? If you are not making it by yourself, you need to source it from somewhere. If you are making it by yourself, you need to ensure that the raw material are being supplied in, well, just in time, or well, make sure that the raw material is available for you for when you need it. Now, recently, my home has some kind of refurbishment, is it how to say it, but nowadays, you know that there is some kind of virus outbreak everywhere, and they run out of raw material. That's why the whole project need to be stopped. not because they don't have enough labor, but because they don't have enough supply to continue the work. Now, these are something that you need to pay special attention. Of course, these are the experts who own the knowledge. You need to make sure that they work for you, or they are willing to they work for you in your company, or they are happily to collaborate with you through some kind of outsourcing. Okay, so you have expert knowledge here, and make sure that you have a good relationship with this knowledge holder. And finally, a good relationship with your distribution channel. So Apple, good relationship with Fortress, good relationship with some kind of a telecommunication service provider, something like that. Okay, distribution channel owners. So, and also, in case you are a local company, in case you would like to go overseas, some geographical agents, sole agents, let's say you would like to expand to Japan, to Korea, make sure that you meet somebody that you could trust and who are expert in this particular area. So these are the key partners that you need to consider when you analyze a business using business model canvas. Now finally, the final part will be some kind of finances, cost and benefit. We always say these type of things. Everything is about money when you run a business. So what about the cost? Now, think about the key activities. Whether you are cost-driven or value-driven. Here we talk about quantitative, qualitative. Here we talk about quantitative, qualitative. So you sell your things in a reasonable price, a competitive price, or you are selling an experience, selling some kind of superior personal status to your customer. Now, these are some kind of cost that you need to think about when you list out the cost that may incur in your business process. Say, for example, if you are going to make it by yourself, or when you are going to outsourcing it to some kind of key partners, what will be their cost? Okay, cost of these key resources and cost of key partners. Now, people will not work for you for free. How much does it cost? Now, in your group project, it is not required to have such detail. I just ask you to list it out. Okay, I just want you to list out the cost. So I have already given you a list, and probably you can easily list out what sorts of costs that incurred. But in the future, in case you would like to initiate your own startup, now these are some kind of costs you need to consider. People will not work for you for free. You need to compensate them. You need to pay them in a reasonable way. And also, if you are making it by yourself, as I have mentioned, in terms of production, there is material cost, there is labor cost, and there is some kind of overhead maintenance cost to keep your machine running. Okay, so these are some costs you need to consider if you are in production. And in terms of production, you also need to consider what will be the amount to achieve economies of scale, or else you will need to have extra costs, or else your things will be very expensive. Okay, per unit cost will be very expensive. How much are you making in order, what will be the amount that you need in order to achieve economies of scale? So these are something that you need to think about in terms of production. And finally, now we talk about qualitative value propositions. Now, here you talk about brand building, you talk about shop experience, etc. Now, Disneyland, they need to have a lot of these decorations things, and then they need to train their staff in order to give you an theme park experience. Here, you need to think about when you want to go the qualitative way, how much are you going to spend to promote your brand, to hire some kind of KOL, hire celebrities, how much are you going to spend in social marketing, these sorts of things. Now, some student may propose I am going to give out some sort of coupons. Now, you need to think about the value of the coupons, the amount of coupons that you are giving out. Say, for example, each coupon 100 Hong Kong dollar. You would like to give out 500 coupon. Then the promotion cost for this coupon distribution will be 500,000. Is it? Oh, no, 50,000. Okay, 50,000 Hong Kong dollar for this promotion campaign. Now, these are the costs that you need to also consider for promotion and brand building. And finally, last thing I would like to talk about is these revenue streams. Now, the most traditional way to earn revenue will be sales of goods. So people come to Bauhaus shop, buy some leather jackets, buy some denim products, they pay, they leave. So this is the most traditional way of gathering revenue. But nowadays there are a lot of ways in order to gain revenue. Say, for example, you can charge by usage. Now, these sorts of partners, if they have some kind of expert knowledge, for example, legal advisor, usually legal advisor, they charge you usage. So for each time you ask them some questions, they will charge you some sort of consultation fees. Okay, so per usage. Not sure that if per usage is applicable to this project, but this is one way that you could charge, especially for legal firms, or in case you possess some kind of special knowledge that people need to ask you. In case you are some kind of shop owner, some kind of property owners, you own some kind of fixed assets, you could lease it out in order to earn some rent. Okay, so this is some sort of usually related to some sort of fixed assets. Let's say instead of building your own, well, imagine that you own a production line, but you are not making products for yourself. You could rent out, you could lease out your production line to some other companies so that they could, even if they don't own a production line, they can do production activity through your production line, and you could charge them the rent. Or maybe cars as well. So I think cars is being charged by these kind of renting as well. Now, in CB2500, I think you have heard about this SaaS, software as a service. Now, these are some sort of things that charged by subscription. Nowadays, I think a lot of things are being subscribed in the computer world. Let's say Netflix is subscribed, Office 365 is subscribed, and what else is subscribed? Now, Adobe, Photoshop, all these type of software are subscribed. Now, software as a model, and also the analysis software that you are using, SaaS Enterprise Miner, these are subscribed. Now, if you are a owner of some kind of intellectual property, let's say if you own a trademark, if you own some kind of patents, you don't need to make products by yourself. You could license it to other companies so that they will use your brand name on their product. Now, a lot of cameras are using this sort of strategy. Let's say Sony cameras, they are partnered with Zeiss, a German optical company. Panasonic, they partner with Leica. What else? I think a China cell phone company, Huawei, they partner with Leica as well to put their brand name on their cell phones, to put the Leica brand name on their cell phones. Now, these are what we call licensing. Of course, you have commission, which is essentially you refer somebody to do something. or maybe you are some kind of sales agents. So for every cars that you sold, for every apartment that you have sold, you could charge a certain percentage of commission fee. Now, I think recently World Health Organization is quite famous in terms of this. So they receive a lot of donations in order to sustain their activity. Okay, I don't comment on their activity, but sustain their activity, sustain their business process. So it is a form of recognition for what kind of things that you are doing. So donation could also be a revenue stream. Now, and finally, in case you are famous, in case you are a YouTuber, in case you are a KOL, I think you are enjoying this type of advertising. So you are embedding some kind of products in your video or in your photos on Instagram in order to charge some kind of advertising fee. So these are the main source of income for YouTubers and KOL. Now, these are the 9 elements. Now, these are the 9 elements that I would like to cover for business model canvas. And I hope that in the future, in case you are initiating your own startup, or you work in some kind of consultation firm, or you work for a company that required you to do some kind of business analysis, or some other courses that require you to do this type of business model canvas for business analysis, I hope that you will find this supplementary tutorial useful to you. Okay, so continue to work hard on your group project, and I'm looking forward to all your submissions. Okay, so thank you very much. Bye bye.